What's up, team? How are we doing? My name is Arneet, though you probably already know that because you are watching on my Facebook page. Decided to start doing a podcast because I have nothing to do, and your boy got fired about a week ago from his job, so not really much on the horizon either. And I'm a creative guy, so I need an outlet. I need something. I've been playing way too much Minecraft, and don't judge me on that, in order to satisfy my creative impulses. This is the maiden voyage. We're just gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see what's going on. I tell you guys how I'm doing, and we go from there, and I get to talk about whatever I want, because that's how this works, and this is why it's great. Control is wonderful. How it's going with me right now, like I said, I got canned about a week ago. It wasn't just me, it was the entirety of our regional team are all gone. I'm waiting for my final check right now. And I'm in a position that a lot of people are in, where we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything to deserve the situation that we're in now, but now we have to face it. We have to figure out how to move forward. And a lot of the thinking that I've been doing, because I was on leave for about 3 weeks with nothing to do, going from working like 50, 60 hours a week to nothing, I had to do a lot of soul searching. I had to do a lot of thinking about what I wanted to do going forward. It was kind of like having to plan the rest of my life, because there were a multitude of thoughts that were going through my head. Let's first of all address the fact that this is crazy. This is crazy. This is never in 100 years at least, nothing of this scale or severity, aside from world wars, has ever happened. I mean, influenza in 1918, yes. I probably need to do a little bit more research on influenza, but I do know that it was a pandemic that affected millions and millions of people around the world at a time when there was a lower population, and so the percentage of fatalities and victimizing was a lot higher. And now 7 billion people on Earth, where it's not at the same scale by percentage, but it's still affecting a lot of people, and it's affecting even more people, not just who are contracting the virus, but people whose economies are suffering, whose jobs are suffering as a result. There are plenty of people who are working from home, and there are plenty of people who are still essential workers, and my hat's off to you, hair, whatever you want. We appreciate you, we love you, we support you. We wish there was more that we could do as a people. The problem is we have to rely on a government right now, especially in the US, that's not picking up the slack and doing what needs to be done in a timely manner. There's not enough masks at hospitals. There's not enough just general supplies at the places that they're needed, and people are overworked. And it's a rough time. And the only thing I can really say is I appreciate you and I love you, and I speak for everybody when I say that. And then for the people who are not working anymore, who aren't, they've been let go, they've been put on furlough, leave without pay, whatever you want to call it. The corporate machine has allowed us to fall by the wayside. And now we're sitting here trying to figure out what are the next steps. And like I said at the start, I've had to start doing a lot of life planning, a lot of thinking in just the last 3 weeks to a month, where I have had to say to myself, I don't want to be working in an industry that folds as soon as somebody sneezes halfway around the world. The restaurant industry, which I worked in, is completely dependent on people coming in, constant clientele and customers. And when something like this happens, it's on par with a natural disaster. There's nothing that we as staff or the company necessarily can do to change that. We're not a set of offices that work that are doing active marketing or holding meetings like a corporate thing. Restaurants are a completely different animal. If we don't have people coming in, we don't have money coming in. And when there's no money coming in, that's it. And I will say that the company that I worked for could have handled things a little bit better, but it is what it is. And this is, again, such a unique situation and such a unique crisis that there's only hindsight to be able to figure out exactly how things should have been handled. But I'm moving on. I'm not going back to working again in an industry that is so fragile. And I've started taking courses online. I went on to Coursera.org. I started taking courses to become a data analyst, working with programming, statistics, big data models, data mining, and there's actually, the more that I looked through the courses to see what would work for me, the more I found stuff that I actually would be interested in, if not necessarily directly in line with the passions that I have. Where you hear big data analysis or just data analysis, you think, okay, computers and math and blah, 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 blah. But there's a lot more that goes into it, like problem solving and communication, being able to tell a good story based on the data that you have structured and configured, and being able to explain exactly what it all means and how that affects you, whether that's as a business or whatever. And that's been pretty cool for me because, as you can see, I'm a communicator, so it works out for me. And the more I delve into it, the more interested I am. So I'm very happy that I was able to find something that was an outlet that wasn't just video games or movies. On that note, however, I have been ripping through Better Call Saul. Highly recommend. I have, if you want a TV show that you just want to play in the background without and not pay attention to all the time without losing the plot, like a boiling pasta video TV show, Criminal Minds. There's 15 seasons, 12 of them are on Netflix. There's 22 episodes, 24 episodes a season. The characters are great, love them. You have to suspend some reality, so if you're all about technical accuracy, that's maybe not the show for you, but again, this is something that you can just have playing, and you can still be on your phone, on your TikTok, on Instagram, or whatever, reading articles, whatever. It's a great show to just have filling the space in the room. What else? Started Halt and Catch Fire. Halt and Catch Fire, great. Lee Pace, amazing. Carrie Bechet, super cute. And been ripping through a lot of movies too. I've been catching up on some flicks that I haven't had the time to be able to check out. And I will put up a list of them if anybody's interested on my Facebook page, on my Instagram stories, anywhere that you can catch this podcast. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. The other aspect of all of this is, if you're not necessarily a physical working out kind of person, physical activity kind of person, I highly recommend that you just try to do some planks, or stand with your back against the wall and your knees and your legs at a 90-degree angle so you can do a little bit of just something. 20 minutes a day. And I've found that my mood improves dramatically. There is no comparison to having a little bit of physical activity to boost your heart rate and get your mind working. It's the only way to stay motivated, in my opinion. That being said, I don't do it every day. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to do it every day, because it's not exactly the easiest thing to keep going, especially when we're basically living Groundhog Day, doing the same thing every day. You're going to sleep just to wake up for a lot of people. And it's, it is what it is, but you do the best that you can. But I feel like as long as you are trying, as long as you are trying enough for you to stay motivated, find things to do, take your time to relax, because a lot of people like me, I haven't had a vacation in 2.5, 3 years. It's been kind of nice to just chill back, especially the first couple of weeks. I just treated it like a vacation because I had no time to myself, working like 5-6 days a week for so long. So I didn't give myself shit for it. I just went ahead and sprawled out and did whatever I wanted to, and it felt great. It did feel great, as long as it's interspersed with little bits of you trying to better yourself. I feel like so much of our daily lives are taken up by the hustle, grinding, making things happen. And sometimes we can get lost in all of that. We end up in a stalemate, very stagnant, and doing the same things over and over again without realizing it. Whether that's going to work, whether that's meeting up with certain friends, usually it's work. But even just like having like the routines that we've developed, they are very repetitive. And we don't take enough time to sit down and think about ourselves. I've taken a lot of time to reflect. I've been in my own head for a month, and I think about my relationships with people. I think about what kind of a friend I am. I think about what my true passions are, what I want to accomplish, what my goals are, reflecting on what I've done to get to where I am now, and figuring out what is best moving forward. And just taking time to breathe and let those thoughts flow, good or bad. One of the things that I discovered in just kind of meditating on this stuff is, a lot of you know that I'm a screenwriter as well. I've written scripts with my buddy Justin Bannock, who is in a similar situation, was working for the same company, and now has all the time in the world. And in writing scripts, I can take, every time we wrote a script, we would take the technical aspects of it and write based on what we know scripts look like, what movies feel like, based on our influences. And influences are one thing, but everybody knows, even in any facet of writing, that the best writing comes from experience. And one of the things that I had to really sit down and reconcile with myself when I thought about writing another script during this whole quarantine was that I can't write based on influence right now because I'm not doing anything. I don't have anything going on that's making me feel any type of way, except for the way everybody is feeling, which is, a little lost, a little depressed, a little bit aimless. I've said so much to my friends as well, like that's how I'm feeling. And I've come to the realization that in order to write something great, in order to do something great, I have to spend time accessing the feelings that I haven't felt in a while. Again, when you're so busy and you're so just in it every day of the week, every week of the year, you don't take the time to think about the way things make you feel, especially stuff that you've pocketed in the back of your brain because you didn't have the time to deal with it. And then eventually you just don't. And then it's only in times like these, when you have so much time to yourself, that you finally access those parts, and you have to start compartmentalizing your emotions. And that, I feel like, is the best way to approach the narrative. To feel is the only way to express. And I definitely know that one of the things that I've lacked for a lot of my life is the ability to properly express myself. I can talk circles around people when I have the motivation, when I have to accomplish something. But when it comes to actually talking, I do have a difficult time doing that. And that's something that I've worked on these last 3 or 4 weeks. And I felt a lot better expressing the things that are going through my head, and not feeling bad about putting it on anybody, if you know what I mean. I'm definitely somebody who doesn't want to put additional stress on people. I don't want people to have to carry the burden of my feelings. But you also need to be able to do that with people you trust. If people can do that with you, like, I'm an empath. If people can do that with me, I should be able to do that with other people. But for some reason, there's always been a disconnect where, okay, they can do that with me, but I don't want to do that to somebody else. No, do it. That's why they're there. That's why they love you. That's why they trust you with their own feelings, is because in turn, you can trust them with your feelings. They feel the same way that you do. They want to take on whatever you have because you've taken on whatever they have. And it's a hard thing to feel okay about. But with time like this, consciously, with effort, you can figure that out. And I felt a lot better about it. And I don't really want to go back to pushing things aside. I want to be able to be 100% transparent with people and be my own person who has thoughts, feelings that are unique to me. So if anything, if there's any good to take out of this whole time that I've been on my own, this is it. This, like, I wouldn't have had the time to do this either and talk to you guys and show you what I can be and what goes on in my head. This is a therapy session for all intents and purposes. And in that vein, I want to try to do this every couple of days. I know it's not going to happen every day. I'm not going to force myself to do anything that I don't want to do, but this is something that I want to do, and I hope it becomes something that we can all partake in. I want to, put it on Spotify, put it on SoundCloud, whatever. If people want to hear what I have to say, if they want to partake, I want to be here to be able to provide a platform for all of that. So if you have something that you want to contribute, if you want me to read something for you because maybe you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, more than happy to. If you have something in your head that you think doesn't get enough attention that should be talked about, hit me up. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I am here for you. I will do my research. You give me whatever you've got, and then I'll put an episode together and we'll do it. And I will give you all the due credit that you deserve for whatever success I might get out of it. And if there's a topic that you want to deliver on that you think you have some really great thoughts on, hit me up. I will absolutely give you the time. People use Zoom for office calls. People can use Zoom to talk about real shit if they want to. So if you want to collaborate with me, if you want to be on a cast and we just screen record and we go for it, I'm totally down. I don't want to be the only one doing this. I want everybody to be a part of it. And if we do that, I feel like we're going to create this little ecosystem of our own where we feel as comfortable as we could possibly feel during a crazy, unprecedented time where the best thing that we can do is be together and just be with each other in some facet, be social in some way. Because if we don't, we are going to lose ourselves along the way. And whatever spark you have in you, whatever little amount of light that you still have within you, don't lose it. There's one thing my mom keeps saying, and I said this to my staff when I had to tell them that what had happened. And I told my colleagues as well. And I tell my friends, keep your soul soft, regardless of anything, whatever's happening, whatever's wrong with the world, whatever's wrong around you, don't harden yourself. Keep your soul soft, because your soul is what's going to direct you to the right things, that the right emotions that make you feel love and pain and happiness. And if we lose that, we lose our humanity. So stay sharp, stay motivated. Let me know if you like this. And if you don't, hit me up. Like, I'd fuck you if you're a troll. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna not care. That's how this whole thing is gonna work. So until then, take care and stay safe.